My gosh.
The heat. The heat.
Oh.
Wow. The heat alone. That makes sense. That's got to be terrifying to see.
My
Y'all fear caused
gosh.
this.
Yeah.
Y'all freaking fear caused this. Hey, welcome back to React University. I'm Corey.
And I'm Dana.
Today we are back with another episode of Attack on Titan.
That is right. We are reacting to Season 4, Episode 28, aka Episode 87, The Dawn of Humanity. But of course, before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, comment, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you always are the first to know whenever we release something new.
Guys, remember, please become a member of our Patreon. Get the full reaction of this episode right now on our Patreon page. Please go and support. It really helps the channel. We do not take it for granted. And with that, class is in session. Let's do this.
Everyone keeps saying Eren has changed.
Oh, I wonder if we're gonna get an intro. No, we're not gonna get an intro.
I wonder if we've all got it wrong.
It's
Wait,
your
what?
imagination.
Could be
Yeah.
that he's always been like this inside. But if this is the real Eren Yeager,
What did I see in him?
that made me keep him so close.
Like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the world beyond the walls. We're finally here. Outside the walls we've known our whole lives.
Oh, is this a flashback?
No, this is not a flashback.
It's Sasha.
This is sort of a return to the Scouts' original.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Mhm.
oh, the dawn of humanity. Yeah. But this
I
is
was
them
confused too. Coming
the first
over-
time coming over.
Yeah.
Right. She's kind of look like Sasha. Kind of look like
Gabi.
Gabi. Yeah. No, that's the first person they met.
What's with that horse? Or wait, is that... What was that?
No horse ever looked like that.
The Yonkapo at this point, knowing that they're from Eldia.
Remember, they brought the blimp with Onyan Capone.
Right. For sure.
We have no idea what to expect. You're safest at my side.
You're safest at my side. That's hilarious.
We really made it across the sea, huh?
Guys, stick with the group.
He's like out of it.
Especially
kinda.
you, Eren.
Facts.
So this is when Yelena first talked to him.
Hey, watch where you're walking, kid.
Please have one.
Oh yeah.
But of course.
Ice cream.
Here, enjoy.
Sasha, show some restraint.
Oh, Sasha.
I want to try it. What is this stuff made of?
Hi, little fella.
Little fella. Ah! You better get the freaking
I am so-
clowns.
It's real good.
Oh
Ew!
my god. I feel like I got molested.
I already don't like clowns.
Eldians in the internment zones usually can't get it. The outside world's massive, but they don't want us to be part of it.
Hmm.
We didn't recognize it at the time.
All he was thinking about was that.
We refused to let ourselves accept it.
That's all he could think about.
Well, look at that. Another enemy immigrant. How'd you get into Marley? Bet he stowed away on a ship. He can't understand us, can he?
Dang.
I say we smash his hands.
Oh my
That ought to stop him
gosh.
from picking pockets.
There's no need. Don't hurt him, okay? I got my purse back, so why go that far?
All us merchants working in this port are trying to make an honest living.
On top of that, this kid could be a subject of Ymir.
He was probably just hungry.
Wow.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Levi does look like a kid.
Said he was a pickpocket. He owes his big sister an apology for this little prank.
Jeez! That's children for you, but what can you do?
It smells like bullshit. You think we're stupid? Run for it.
Hey, come back!
Really,
Well,
run?
all y'all run for it.
That just looks real
Like, yeah, you just
suspicious.
He's right there.
What did he steal?
with another bag. Stole some more
Well
stuff.
then, So much for the Azumabito's pocket change.
Countries are beginning to discover that subjects of Ymir have been able to sneak out of the internment zones. The bloodline of Ymir made its way across Eldian territory when the Empire was at the height of its power.
I'm sure you can see how difficult it will be to convince the world to engage with the people of Parity on friendly terms.
That's probably why Aaron was like, this is not a solution.
Our only remaining option will be to throw in Mystique and his conspiracy. We would be leaving our fates entirely up to him and sacrificing Historia's life.
They may be able to help. It's possible, though I would caution against assuming your goals and theirs are in alignment.
We're not, and we won't make contact until we've had a chance to observe them.
The Azumabito clan will happily aid you in pursuing said.
I must wonder how realistic you've been in assessing your odds of success.
Chances are slim even if we do everything right. And we'll be in constant danger. As long as there's a chance, it's our duty to take it.
Wait a minute.
Where's
Aaron?
I'm curious when he meets up with Yelena. He's crying.
Everyone's been out looking for you.
He's crying. He helped the kid get to his
Did something happen here?
No, nothing yet. These people are refugees who lost their homes in Marley's wars. Everything they had was taken, and the freedom they enjoyed is long gone. Mikasa, why you care for me as much as you do? Because I saved you. Back when we were little kids. Or is it more? Mikasa, what am I to you?
You my boyfriend. She a little, you see her blushing?
You're my family.
The freak, this dude just sneak up on me?
What the hell do you think you're doing, you maniac? You're some kind of moron!
You know, I was thinking, what if they, instead of going to the Marleyans, they went to like an enemy of Marleyan and kind of made a pact with them. Like, hey, we'll help your wars. If you protect us, we protect you.
You're talking about, you think that's what
They could have done.
Oh, what they could have done.
Instead of going straight to the Marleyans, they're the enemy number one.
Did they go straight to the Marleyans?
Yeah, they're in Marleyan.
Oh, that's what his flashback was.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. You rival, like, you become an ally with your enemy's enemy.
Like the enemy of my enemy.
Right, it's my friend.
Oh, they made it into a whole, like, party.
Oh. They little kid some drink. They saw the
This is making me a little emotional.
Just having a good time.
Advocates for the subjects of Ymir living as refugees around the globe. These desperate people are not responsible for the crimes of the Eldian Empire. There's only one corner where it continues to fester. The island of Paradis. It is the island devils alone who pose a true threat to humanity.
And of course, nobody from the island of Paradis is there to give their side or defend themselves.
Look, Aaron.
That was the day when Aaron truly left us. By the next time we saw him, it was too late.
That's why she responded the way she did.
I still don't know if there was some better way.
Wow.
And I can't help wondering, when he asked me that question,
if I'd given him a different answer.
Yeah.
What was she of...
I love you, you know. I think you more than just a brother.
Do you think she does?
I don't know.
No. It doesn't matter where. Everything happened as I willed it. Everything begins here.
Aaron, there's only one way to break the cycle of violence. For Eldia and the world. You must support the euthanization plan.
We tainted with spinal.
Flock was there.
Please return his faith.
He had Flock there listening.
You need to do the same. Keep your head down for a while. So we play along with him for now.
I'll bring Flock along, man.
Is that Historia?
They're not going to be talked out of it.
Since I came out here, I've had more to think about than just raising cattle. If making me a Titan gives us the best chance of saving the island, then I'm prepared to do it. Even so, I'm grateful. I've got friends who did everything they could for me.
It's enough that you tried. I mean it.
Maybe it is enough for you, but not for me. I'll trample it to the ground.
So he told Flock.
That isn't the answer, Aaron! Most of the people out there don't have anything to do with what we've gone through!
A long history of hate will be buried in the ruins of civilization.
Aaron, please, don't do it! I'll have no choice but to try and stop you. Because if I don't, I'll have to live with the world's blood on my hands. How could I, though?
I know you can, because you're the person who saved my life back in that cavern. The worst girl who ever lived.
Headaches, huh? Well, I doubt there's a connection.
But this theory that she's reflexively guarding her host?
To be honest, it seems a little far-fetched to me.
I think it's far simpler than you're making it, Aaron.
She loves you.
Straightforward explanations for all the behaviors you described.
She does it because she adores you.
What would you think about me having a child?
Oh, he had to chop off his legs.
For them to live long, happy lives.
Which I didn't doubt that. I never doubted that.
An allied global fleet. Nearly all of the largest guns ever manufactured have been gathered from across the globe. And by that miracle alone, humanity still clings to hope.
Interesting. So they did believe.
About the rumbling?
Remember, one, two, like only the Eldians knew about it. So the Eldians warned you guys.
Willie Tiber did, right?
No. Willie Tiber for sure. But they didn't know the rumbling was going to happen today. You know, like they didn't know that the Titans was showing up. But the Eldians is the one who told them, like, hey, we heard.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about now.
Do you remember seeing them coming out of the water? Do you remember seeing that on the second season? Showing them coming out of the water?
You're about on the intro?
I think it
Are
was
they
the
regenerating?
outro. There's just plenty of them.
And they can swim. Oh my gosh.
The heat. The heat. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. The heat alone. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like they're all colossal.
All colossals. Wow. That's got to be terrifying to see. Y'all fear caused this. Y'all freaking fear caused this. Because of them kept playing around with the freaking Eldians on the island, kept trying to kill them. You had literally became the fulfilling of a prophecy. Oh.
Every last one.
The world over.
Oh my gosh.
We did not get an end credit on that. That actually went a little bit longer, I think. We did not get an ending credit on that.
Really?
No.
I think you're right.
So, a couple of things to unpack here in this episode. One, Aaron was trying to find he was trying to make sense of why Mikasa acted the way she did towards him. And what we thought was Aaron found some kind of revelation of why.
Of why what?
Of why Mikasa act the way she acts towards Aaron.
But didn't he make that up?
Well, okay, so Armin said he just made it up or something like, and then Mikasa was like, no, like he got a point there. Like I have these headaches, I do have these crazy, I do certain things, and so it was like, did he make it up or not? Because he got a point. Like he was cooking when he was saying certain things.
He was.
And all Armin argument was he just made it up, right? And Mika was like, no, like he didn't make that up. I think I do have these things. So we thought, at least me personally, I speak for myself, I was like, okay, so he did kind of like get some kind of, maybe there's some truth to what he was saying, but maybe not the full truth. What we just found out was he even brought that his theory to Zeke, and Zeke was like,
Nah, bro.
She just love you, bro. Yeah, right. She adores you, right? You know, what are you gonna say to her when you see her, right? It's like,
what am I supposed to say?
What I'm supposed to say? I'm gonna die in 4 years. Like, he knows that she loves him, you know, and to the point where he's like, look, at the end of the day, I'm here to make sure my friends, my family, can live their lives in happiness, which I don't think none of us ever doubted. No one doubted that from the beginning. It's just you have your viewpoint, your idea is warped for why you want them to, why you think this particular option is the only one, right?
But I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, so obviously he took this theory to Zeke, but when they had that conversation, it's when he was undercover in Marley. So then when he goes back and he tells Mikasa that, that's
he knows he was
later.
Lying.
He knows he was lying at that point. And at that point, he said mean things to Armin and mean things to Mikasa. But if I had to guess, he's probably one of those people that, like, you feel like you have to be temporarily mean so that you can protect them the best way that you know how to protect them.
He brought Flock along. I mean, out of everyone, I mean, Flock is the best person to bring along, obviously.
Because he understands insanity.
Yeah, he's little, you know, he's built.
I mean, I do think that Eren was strategic, like, no doubt. Because, yeah, if you're going to go have a conversation, so if the fact that Flock was there shows that Eren didn't just go AWOL to have that conversation by himself. Like, he thought it was smart to have some type of person or there as backup or whatever. I don't know. And then it was in his best interest to have somebody that was on the inside that could help with the plan. I think the part that was kind of hard to see is, like, almost like Eren looked depressed. Like, you finally got
feel bad about what he's doing.
No. I guess I mean when it showed us this flashback of them going to Marley before he decided to leave them. You know what I mean? And they get there and he seems out of it. And Miko's like, you need to stay close to me, like, blah, blah. And he's just looking around like he's out of it. And I think it's like, it was just interesting to see, I guess, the realization of he just thought, if we can solve the problem outside the walls, like, maybe how crushing that would be for, like, if I can just solve this immediate problem, I could take a deep breath and I could breathe. And then you do that and you cross the sea and you see that there's so much more to life, and that no matter where you go or the bigger that you make the playing field, you're still in a cage. Like, his body, like, the way they animated his body language gave, like, depression or despair to me. And the fact that he saw the little kid who, you know, was a refugee, and he sees their refugee camp, and it moves him to tears. Like, he's not devoid of empathy, or he's not devoid of compassion, I think is what makes it even harder. You know? I'm just very curious. That made it, I think it just kind of made me have a little bit more empathy for him in this moment.
No, because I think, like, the whole entire time, like, he's obviously been dealing with, and when he got there to the island, got there to Marley, what he came to grips with. There's a whole lot of world, but Marley wants the parody to be stuck on the island with none of it. They don't want them to have none of this. He also saw that there's still people being treated or mistreated simply for not only being not Marleyan, but a possibility of being Eldian. But even with the possibility of being Eldian, they still was being treated bad, right? Even if they weren't. Like, oh, here's, this, person show up, and how do you get through our borders or whatever like that. And then you had him just simply just trying to sit back.
That they're creating a refugee problem with their actions. Like,
and he's just sitting back. He's just like, I'm taking it all in. I'm just taking it all in. And as he kept taking it all in and trying to let the powers that be, which is, Hanji and and Levi kind of like steered the ship, he realized at the point when he was sitting there in that conference room that no, there's no other option. That these people will try to like destroy us.
Yeah.
And so to that point, you know, because like I think the problem is he also see there's people that cares about the Eldian people. He saw people that cared about the Eldian people,
Like
but the louder
the clan.
Right. He saw again in that conference room, and they're all having a press conference, and the guy was simply like, hey, there's Eldians that had nothing to do with the tragedies that happened thousands or hundreds of years ago, right? And then what? You saw the uproar of like, yeah, they're evil people, let's kill them, let's eradicate them. So you still see, so there are people who are still like, see them as human, or see them as worth living, people that should be treated not like the devils that Marlin treat them.
Like only the people on Paradis should be
Right.
the devils is basically.
Well,
that's what he said though.
Oh, he did say that.
Yeah,
he did say that.
So he was like, okay, it was kind of like he was like, you guys
True.
have a lot of hate. Let's just funnel it.
Well, not told them, but
yeah.
these people who's
Yeah,
not there.
let's filter
alone.
out some. You don't have to.
Right.
You know.
It's a person like that, though, probably, I'm thinking of a politician, right? They could be still believing that the people in the island could be still okay, but they felt like we got to win the war here first before we can win the war over there. It's like, let's get people to see that these people are humans, and then slowly, you know, that's a politician. But
the other thing too is like, it's really hard because in all these instances, because King Fritz basically decided to tap out and like took his people to an island and like he's not communicating or engaging, the rest of the world is interacting with each other. They have better communication streams, like they're advanced, so there's some level of
Trade.
Politics and diplomacy, regardless of like how much you like whatever other, you know, country or whatever. So regardless of if people are on the same side or not, they still have a voice. The people on Paradis have not had a voice at all,
Right.
because King Fritz took himself and his people out of the equation. So it's also kind of unfortunate that it's like for the last 2,000 years, this whole narrative has been built up against me. Like, okay, this is like obvious. I mean, I'll say with racism or something like that, right? You've seen how sometimes like, okay, man, like, oh, people say, oh, they're just from a different generation. And sometimes it takes a couple generations to kind of get people to start to reshape their thinking. And some people, it's not an issue. And from generations ago, they understood that human is human and everyone is deserving of equal, you know, rights or compassion or whatever. And it's like, but I feel like it's such a disadvantageous position to be in, to come to finally have a seat at the table 2,000 years later, and the narrative that has been spun is like not just decades, not just centuries, like thousands of years deep.
Right.
Like how do you even begin to fix that?
Right.
Yeah. The other thing, like, so
especially if it comes to trade, like if you're more of a modern country, you know, here these island devils, as you've been preached to for the last 2,000 years, show up and try to have some kind of diplomacy with you. It's all about trade. Well, what can you trade with me that will make me even consider our alliance? And of course, there's the resources that Marlin wants on that island, which don't forget that they want the resources.
That's
true.
So
they could have been at least that, but they didn't even think. They just went straight to public enemy number one. Let's go to Marlin. I'm curious on like how that could have transpired if they had diplomacy with another nation, and just to start because as time goes on, you started, you know, 10, 20, 30 years of diplomacy with that nation, and they see you as people, right? Of course, Marlin would try to find a way to kind of dehumanize and try to find a way to like go into like maybe there's some Eldians that finally comes over to the nation's capital, and the Marleys sneak in with some spinal fluid and stick one in the back, and then it turns into a Titan right in the middle of the capital, and then there goes like, 40 years of diplomacy.
Yeah.
They're like, there's Dallas again. Right. I was just thinking about that. So but it's going to be hard.
That is going to be hard because all it takes is somebody, like you said, that, you know, as a spy or covert operation, they're like, ultimately, this is in the best interest of everybody if we can prove that they're... It's a losing battle. Like, yeah. I understand the despair, I think, and the sense of defeat that Eren had. But I guess technically at that point he left and he said he was going to leave them up to Zeke's plan, but that's not what he did. He left and he kind of went off on did his own plan.
Right. And only told 2 people.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of explains a little bit of why Mikasa kind of responded or reacted the way that she did when she finally saw Eren again. Because I was trying to figure out, like, she seemed a little standoffish or aloof.
Like you haven't seen
like,
him in a while. I haven't used him.
Yeah, and I was like, aren't y'all like 2 peas in a pod?
Right. How did you get separated?
Yeah. So that obviously explains a lot. And like, I don't know, I think it's kind of hard. I don't want her bearing any guilt, thinking that had she said something different, that she could have changed Eren's mind. Right. His mind was set. Seem like that type of person that's that easily swayed.
I'd be moved by, fluffy words.
But at the same time, I wonder
the words in him, there's his reality.
Why he asked the question, because he also seems like the type of But he also seemed like the type of guy that, like, why did he want to know? Like, he doesn't. You know what I mean?
He wanted to hear it.
Do you think so?
I think he wanted to hear it. I think he had an idea. He wanted to hear it, and she didn't say it. And he's like...
But I guess the only thing I'm thinking of is he probably had an idea. And what if she would say, I love you? And then he'd be like, okay, that's what I thought.
Right. And like I'm so...
Yeah, like he's...
No doubt. The words would not have stopped him.
I don't think he would have been like, I love you too, but this will never work. Like, he
remember,
doesn't come
he's
across...
still doing that for her. He's doing what he's doing for her, along with the rest of his family.
So basically,
AKA friends.
What we're saying is his love language is not words of affirmation, quality time,
it's of action.
It's acts of service.
Not even,
it's not gifts.
Not even action, because
it's not physical touch.
Love. Right.
It's acts of service. He's like, I'm just gonna show you.
Right.
But I guess him even asking the question threw me off, because to me he didn't seem like the type of person that... We always knew that Mikasa would go to bat for him.
Right.
And it seemed like it was out of, like, dedication for what he'd done for her, right?
Right.
But I never got the sense that he was, like, emotional towards her. I think his relationship with her was very, like, matter of fact, like, yeah, I saved you. Someone had to do it.
Right.
Like, I saved you because that's what needed to happen. And, like, yeah, I mean, you're my road dog / half sister because you live with me. Like, but I never got it. And I guess if you think about it, the only person he really showed emotion about was his mom.
All right, I don't want to take too much on this, but I always want to say, because there's one thing that came into my head, and I keep forgetting to mention it.
Okay.
Keep forgetting to mention it.
Okay.
Is, remember, Eren is the attack on Titan.
The attack Titan,
which obviously he's the one who's attacking with all the clauses. But one thing what we just found out with the attack Titan is their ability to look into the future, and how they can. I was curious. Do you remember back on season 3? I think it was season 3, towards the beginning, maybe the end, towards the season 3. I can't remember. But when they discover who was the owl was, and the owl had told him, "I need you to eat me." He said, "You gotta save Mikasa and Armin." That's exactly his words. He said, "Who are those people?" He said, "I don't know." He didn't. I've been sitting on that for the last 24 hours, son, and I just keep forgetting to mention it.
Babe. Wow.
Revelation, you know what I'm saying?
And that technically was like 2 Attack Titans into the future.
Right. And again, that's the power of, that's again, I guess the foresight of Eren, really, which at the same time, remember, that was the plan of Ymir. She's been waiting for so long, 2,000 years, for this moment where she can be free. And so remember, she's also
Ymir is not free.
She's also have a part to play in what Eren is doing, because Eren on the last season, 3 episodes ago, he's like, when he was holding her, and he was like, "This is what you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for someone basically to set you free." And then that's when she was able to break free from
being a
Zeke.
slave.
Zeke telling her to, euthanize everybody, and she turned into that, to that slug amoeba, and attached the head to Eren's head and turned into the big giant.
Which is crazy because you see how large he is. Like, he is larger than multiple colossals.
Huge.
And it's like he's so
he's
huge.
A freaking skeleton.
He's carrying, and then he has a little sling, like a little hammock, where he's carrying himself and Zeke.
I didn't see Zeke.
Well, remember Zeke got snatched up.
I know, but I'm surprised. I don't know what Zeke is. Can Zeke even come back?
Well, I don't know, but we saw that, like, the way it is, you see the Attack Titan's, like, head is, like, floating, kind of like on a little thing, but the way that he snatched Zeke into him,
I got it.
It's just crazy. Also, so we finally see more of Historia, right? We also see where he's having sidebar conversations with Historia. In these conversations, she wasn't yet pregnant. I'm still curious. I still feel like there's potential that
Zeke, that's Eren's baby.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you got me convinced, so I don't know.
But I mean, it could be some rando's baby, but, like, why show us that she's pregnant? And because they said, "Oh, you're gonna try to make you bear children and then make your children eat you." Like, what unless she did that because she thought the only way to stop him is to have a child that can eat her to at least continue to have her will.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
What's your score? What you giving this?
Gosh, this is getting really hard. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9.6 because I think it was good to see things through Eren's eyes and Mika's eyes. It just feels like a tease because I feel like we're just getting, like, just a little bit more bits of information and not enough to really, like, do anything with it yet.
Yeah, so 9.6 for her. My score, I'm giving this is an 8.5. Very close to taking up to a 9. A lot of resolve.
Do you know what you could do?
We'll see this kid. No, I'm good. A lot of resolve is definitely coming. You're starting to see crystallize. So that is my score. What is your score? What would you give this episode? Comment below. Let us know. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can always get the latest on anything we post right here on the channel.
That is right. Also, don't forget to become a member of our Patreon. You can see the full reaction to this episode as well as the full reaction to the finale. So you will see the full reaction. So go check out our Patreon. You will not be disappointed.
Guys, and until next time, catch you in the next one. Bye.